Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this video I am going to be going over some different recurring money making methods, so whether that be daily, every 2 days, per week, or 2 weeks, or whatnot. Essentially it's money making methods you can do every once in a while that will help you save up for a bond. So right now bonds are priced at just under 70 mil each, so the goal is that you find a few of these methods that will allow you to make enough money every 2 weeks to pay for that bond. I will have timestamps in the description for each of the methods, so you can check that out if you want, but I do have the methods ordered in terms of requirements, so the first few methods aren't going to have as many requirements, and as we go down the list, the requirements are going to become a little bit more intense. So starting off with our first daily moneymaker, we have Vis Wax. It is the iconic one. Really, it only takes 1 or 2 minutes to do. You only need 50 rune crafting, and the rune crafting cape does help. So if you have 99 rune crafting, bring it, but definitely not required. Just make sure you have some runes in the bank to make the Vis Wax. So when making Vis Wax, you will want to go to the Rune Crafting Guild, and that's the part that requires level 50 rune crafting. You can just head over to the Rune Goldberg machine. Every day there is a different combination for Vis Wax. I do have the combination in my Discord. I have a channel there called Vis Wax where you can check out the combination for each day. The only thing that you won't see is the combination for the 3rd slot. You can get that by activating your rune crafting cape if you have it. So for today's slot, we'll try fire as the 1st slot. That's guaranteed. The 2nd slot always has 3 random choices. We'll try the mind runes right now, and we know that chaos is the 3rd slot. So mind runes was incorrect. We'll move on to earth runes, and there you go, 100 Vis Wax. So it is sometimes as easy as that. You will want to try and use the cheaper runes as opposed to the more expensive combination runes. But overall you can make about 1.5 mil per day doing this on average. So if you do this, every day for 2 weeks, that's about 21 mil that you can save for your bond. Next, we have buying limestone bricks and limestone from the various shops within RuneScape. So this takes about 20 minutes to buy all of them from the 4 different shops, and it can be done every day. You can see you can make about 4.5 mil per day, which is really great. If you do that every day for 2 weeks, you're making 63 mil. So that there nearly buys you the bond. And so there are very little requirements for this method. For the shop on the bottom right there, that is in Morton. That requires the Shades of Morton quest to be completed. The next shop is in Keldegrim, where you can buy 500 limestone bricks. That requires the Giant Dwarf quest to be completed. Then, of course, there's the shop in Prifddinas that requires the Plague's End quest. And then there is the new shop, which is located in the Fort 4 and 3, where you can buy 250 limestone bricks. And so the method is quite straightforward, but I'll just show you how I do it. So this is the shop here in Morton. You can trade with this guy to get the limestone bricks. He also sells limestone as well, but really focus on the limestone bricks. So you'll just buy them. You'll want to bring some magic notepaper with you and just note all of the bricks. So you can do that part fairly fast. What's really the most time consuming is buying the limestone. It cannot be noted, so you will actually need to craft it into the limestone brick, and that's what takes the most time. So personally, I just avoid the limestone. If you are someone who wants the extra cash and is willing to spend the time buying the limestone, cutting it into the limestone brick, and then noting it, you'll make a little bit more extra money. But personally, it's not something I would do. But yeah, it's a pretty easy method. Just go to each of the shops, buy the limestone bricks, note them, and then sell them on the Grand Exchange for your juicy profit. Next, we have herb runs, which take about 7 minutes to complete. They can be done about every 80 minutes, so you can do these multiple times per day. And 79 farming is recommended for the dwarf weed. There are some different herbs that do work pretty well, but the dwarf weed is the best. Lanthanum is second best, which requires 73 farming. And then you can see that the profit per run varies greatly. So you can see you can make 700k up to 2 mil per run. And it is varies so much because the plant power boost, it does have a huge impact on this method. So having the tier 4 plant power boost, which just means you can plant 10 seeds in a patch, that is the best option. You'll be making 2 mil per run. Essentially, you can plant the 10 seeds, and if you're using Ultra Compost, which is highly recommended as well, you'll get about 18 herbs for that one patch. So a huge profit there. If you don't have the tier 4 plant power, then that's fine. You can try to just use the highest one you have. You'll be making between 700k and 2 mil, which is just awesome. So this method, it can be one of the better ones on this list. So there are 7 different herb patches that you can use for the dwarf weed. The locations are just here. So this is the first one, just under Falador. There's Port Phasmatis, there's North Catherby, Ardone, Troll Stronghold. There's also a spot in Prifddinas, and of course the new spot, which is the Garden of Carid. So with this method, like I said, you will want to get the plant power tier 4 eventually. If you don't have it, that's fine. You'll still be making a profit, and eventually as you harvest enough herbs, you'll be able to start buying these different plant powers to make some more profit. The next method is buying meat from Uglog. It takes about 1 minute to complete and can be done every day. It does require, as a last resort, to be completed, just so you have access to Uglog. But you can make about 700k per day doing this, and just with that one quest being a requirement, it isn't too bad, and it's really quick too, so pretty good method. So for the method, just head to Uglog and trade with Char-Gur, and you can buy all of the meat from him, and especially buy the packs of meat. That's where most of the profit's going to come from. The bank is nearby, so you can just go bank it there, and make sure just to buy them all. Now, we're getting on to a bit more complicated methods that require a little bit more. So we have Reaper tasks. These take about 30 minutes to 1 hour to complete. So one of the longer methods on the list. It can be done every day. It does require a high combat level because you will essentially be going to death and asking for a Slayer task, except it's a Reaper task and you have to kill a boss. So depending on your combat level, you could get different tasks. What I do, I usually go get a Reaper task every day, and if it's a boss I like killing, I'll do it. If not, I might re-roll it, or just wait for the next day to re-roll it again. I usually don't do it every day, but it is something to definitely keep in mind. Basically, you will be getting some Reaper points, and once you get 300 Reaper points, you can buy the incomplete Hydrix, which you can sell for a ton of profit. So on average, you should expect to get about 5 mil per day just off the Reaper points too. So, if you are killing a boss, odds are you are going to get a pretty good drop at some point. So that's just extra profit that you would make. Anyway, if you are, a high-level player, this is definitely the daily money-making method for you. It's also the most fun because you're doing bossing. So definitely highly recommend doing your daily Reaper task. Player-owned farm runs can also be quite profitable, but quite tedious as well. It takes about 5 minutes every 42 hours to do it. That's just to do the farming part. Actually selling the animals might take a little bit longer, but essentially you will be buying the unchecked eggs, and you'll grow them to adolescent. You can have sort of babysitters there within the player-owned farms that stop their growth once they become adolescents, because then you'll want to take the adolescent animal and go sell them to other players for profit. So that's where you're going to be making the money here. Of course, it does take some time to actually find the player to sell the adolescent animals to. So it might take you more than 5 minutes every 2 days, but it can be a really great method. You just need level 92 farming and 60 construction, so a bit higher requirements, but not super high. And this method can be really great. You can make 8 mil every 2 days. You're going to want to be doing the black dragons, the zygamites, and of course the crystal chinchompas. The crystal chinchompas will also give you some consumable ones that you can sell for some extra profit. So that's why those are pretty good too. But yeah, just fill up your player-owned farms with those 3 animals, wait till they're adolescent to take them out and sell them to other players for profit. Next, we have rapid growth on the Het's Oasis flowers. So this takes about 3 minutes every day, and you will want to use rapid growth, which is it's a spell that you unlock after the Light Within quest. So that is one of the requirements. But you can use it once per day, and essentially it will fully grow any crop or flower or any tree or anything like that. So if you are to use it on the flowers at Het's Oasis, they will fully grow, and then you can hope to get the golden roses, which sell at right around 750k per rose, so you can make some pretty good profit there. You can use this spell on all 4 flower patches to instantly harvest them, and the requirements again are level 90 farming, 88 magic, and the Light Within quest. With this method you can make about 2 mil per day, which is pretty good considering it only takes about 3 minutes. And just to quickly show you the method, you'll just want to use the rapid growth spell on the flower patch here. There are 4 of them that you can use it on. You can actually use this spell on every patch once per day. So it'll automatically grow. You can just keep on clicking it and go through the different growth stages till you harvest it. You will have a chance at the golden roses. It is sort of an uncommon drop, and that's where you'll be making the money. So some days you might not get any, you might not make any money, whereas other days you might make well over the 2 mil per day. But overall, it's a pretty good method and pretty simple, just something to go check. You can use this spell on other farming patches as well. If you do want to speed up those herb runs and whatnot, that is an option. But of course, it is a bit of a higher requirement, requiring the Light Within and a fairly high farming and magic level as well. And the last method I'm going to be going over is the partial potion producer. So this is an invention machine that you can create in the invention guild, and it essentially you can put in some raw ingredients and make unfinished potions. It takes about 5 minutes every 2 weeks just to set this up, and after 2 weeks, actually 13 and a half days, you will be able to go check it, and you'll have all the unfinished potions ready. That is if you did fill the machine. The best potions to do right now are the Renar potions. So you will want to put the Renars in the machine and make those unfinished potions. And you can make about 9 mil I put per bond, but essentially it's per 2 weeks. And that is, exceptionally great, especially if it's only taking you 5 minutes every 2 weeks to complete. So this method is pretty easy. You will need to have the partial potion producer created first. And you will want the level 2 one to make the most profit. So when doing that, you can just toss your vials of water and your herbs. So I'm using clean Renar. You can see that it's going to take 1 week and 17 hours. So you can actually place up to 13,000 at a time. You can see that's what the capacity is. You will need to make sure the machine has enough charges to do that. So I will have to charge up my machine with some more divine charges to make sure it can go for the full week. But that's as easy as it gets. You just buy the ingredients off the Grand Exchange and you toss them in the machine and check back a week or 2 later. You got your unfinished potions and you can sell them for a profit. And so those are the 8 different methods that I wanted to show you guys. It's way more than you need to make your 70 mil every 2 weeks. But hopefully, you can find your favorite ones or the ones you can access, so you can actually maintain that bond for the membership. Of course, there are also a lot of other methods as well that you can do. I did mention one of them being the alchemizer. That is another invention machine you can use. There's some other shop runs you can do, but these are just my favorite methods that I found. It's some that I use to just save up some money every day. So I really hope you guys did enjoy the video, and if you did, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe for more RuneScape 3 content, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.